Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates for only like $5 a month. And well, in this video, I again have a lot to say, and as you can see right now, the market is going down. Now, I don't know if it's gonna keep going down, but my prediction remains the exact same. I still think that Ethereum will drop to $1,400 again to get to the oversold territory on the weekly chart. So that has not really changed. Now, I saw some people in the comments being confused by my title yesterday because it says that, Cardano will get to like $3 very, very soon. And in that video, I pretty much say that yes, it is possible for Cardano to get to all-time highs very, very soon. But before we do that, we actually need to get to the oversold territory on the weekly Ethereum chart if we actually want to find some type of bottom. So I don't think the low is in. I think this is just a big fake out. And I've even asked you if you think that this is a fake out. I asked you in a poll, and by the looks of it, 59% of you think that this is not a fake out. Of course, this was 20 hours ago when the market was still going up, and what do you know, right now the market is going down, and I mean, this structure could still turn into a much bigger ABC with an overshooting B wave right here. As you can see, we actually, got rejected by the bear market support band. Of course, we did not quite get to the bear market support band. However, we got very, very close to it, and well, right now maybe we are heading in the C wave, and the target for the C wave is between 56.7 cents and well 54.2 cents. I'm gonna ignore this for now, so actually I'm gonna correct myself. The target is between the 58.5 cent level and 56.7 cents level, and well, if we hold support there, then yeah, the next targets are 86.9 cents for the third wave, then I move to the downside for the fourth wave, and then the fifth wave should put us above the bull market support band. Now, of course, there is going to be resistance in this area between 84.4 cents and 73.2 cents because we need to get back above the bull market support band and above the 200-day moving average. But yeah, I mean, right now I think people are just falling for a trap, and maybe I'm gonna be wrong about this, but so far I'm not wrong because Ethereum still has not gotten above the high right here, which is at about $2,100. I said yesterday if Ethereum actually gets above $2,100, then I'm going to say that the chances of us already having a low on the chart are going to increase because the lower low structure that we have right here will be broken. And what lower low structure? Well, we have this right here. As you can see, this is a lower low after this high, well actually after this low, and then after getting this lower low we got another lower low, then another lower low, and then another lower low, and then another lower low. And well, we never really seemed to be able to break above the highs right here, or highs right here, or highs right here. And right now we are doing the exact same thing. If we want to, actually confirm that something different is happening in the market, we have to break out of this structure and we have to break above the highs if we actually want something bullish to happen, relatively soon. So that's why I believe that Ethereum will still drop very, very soon. Now we did get a, bounce of the daily RSI right here, but this is not enough to confirm that the low is in. And I told you this every single day, and for the past like month or so, Ethereum, in my opinion, will still get to the oversold territory on the weekly, and there's no question of if, it's only a question of when. And please do not forget, the next Fed meeting, I believe, is on March, actually not March, but May 6th, and that's in like 2 weeks. And until then, we could find some type of low on the Ethereum chart. The stock market could actually continue going down, and maybe when we actually get the Fed meeting, that's when QT actually ends, and maybe we start QE as well. And in the previous cycle, if you remember what happened when we started QE, Bitcoin dominance started dropping quite a lot. I think we actually started it right here, if I remember correctly, and during that time, Bitcoin dominance dropped from 73% all the way down to about 57% in a matter of like a year or so. Now, of course, this was not a post-halving year, so what we're looking for right now is a move that looks like this on the Bitcoin dominance chart, and I think this move is very, very close to happening because we are very, very close to getting to the 0.786 resistance level of the previous local high right here of the previous cycle, and I think this is where Bitcoin dominance will top in this cycle. Right now, we are very close to that level. We are currently at 64% 0.5%. And I mean, if we are so close to it, we might as well test it, in my opinion. And I think we're gonna test it, considering the fact that, like I said, Ethereum is still not oversold on the weekly. So things are lining up pretty perfectly, in my opinion. And with the Fed meeting being in like 2 weeks, it would make sense for Ethereum to start going down and for the entire market to start going down as well. Now, I'm not expecting Bitcoin to go down as much, because if Bitcoin goes down and Ethereum goes down with it, I mean, of course, Bitcoin has to go down if we want Ethereum to get another low, but Bitcoin does not have to get below the bull market support band right now, and it obviously does not have to get below the trend line on the weekly chart. I mean, I've been talking about this trend line for many weeks now, and I did tell you that at some point we will have a bounce, and that bounce is happening right now. However, I still think that this is a big fake out, and by the looks of it, I mean, Bitcoin will most likely test the 200-day moving average first, which is at $88,000, and if we do not find support there, then we could also test the, green line on the bull market support band, and that is at $86,000. And if we do not stay above that, we could actually form some type of, lower high, well, actually a higher low right here, somewhere at like $78,000, maybe at $82,000 to test the 0.382 support level. So I think Bitcoin is still gonna drop, and we're still gonna get rejected by the bull market support band, because this is actually normal. It happened every single time, even here when people were starting to get bullish on Bitcoin. When it finally got back above the bull market support band, I did tell you that this is most likely a fake out, because we did not have a cross on the bull market support band back then, and yes, it did turn out to be a fake out. We did get a correction after that, and then we got above the bull market support band again, and that confirmed that the low was in and that we were heading for new all-time highs, because that also gave us a cross on the bull market support band. And right now we have not had a cross on the bull market support band yet, meaning that the chances of us getting, some type of higher low right here are very likely, and if it does happen during that time, it would actually be perfect for Ethereum to go down even more than Bitcoin, and if that happens, Bitcoin dominance will go higher, will get to 66%, and Ethereum will get to the oversold territory on the weekly. In my opinion, things are lining up perfectly, and I think people are just blinded by, well, I don't know how to say this, but pretty much by greed, because people, of course, they want the price to go up, and I think the price will still go up in the short, well, actually not in the short term, but in the next couple of weeks, I think it will start going up, and I think Cardano will get to all-time highs by the second week of June. But before we do that, we have to find some type of low. Now, speaking of Cardano, right now, could we get some type of triple bottom right here that could put us at the 0.618 support level? Well, yes, we could, but maybe we'll actually use the support zone right here, and if we use the support zone during this time, the ADA Ethereum chart could also start going up. And speaking of this chart, let me actually zoom out on this, because you also need to know about this if you are a new person to the channel. And basically this chart is in a downtrend, and it has been in a downtrend since this high right here, which was the 2017 high. If we want ADA to actually start doing better than Ethereum, and if we do not want ADA to go to zero against Ethereum in the next couple of cycles, we need to break out of this downtrend, and ADA needs to at least break the 2021 all-time highs, which are currently at 0.001 something, and right now we're at 0.0001, we're actually 0.0039 something, meaning that if we want to break the highs right here, Cardano kind of has to go up about 2.5x against Ethereum, and we have to do that until the end of the cycle, because most likely, I mean, when the bear market starts, Ethereum will start outperforming the altcoins, because the altcoins will go down like this, and Ethereum will also go down, but it will go down a bit slower, not just, in a straight line like most altcoins do in the bear markets. So I think if we want to get bullish, we have to break above the trend line right here and break above the all-time highs. And well, speaking of Cardano right now, I did say that it is possible to get to all-time highs, and I already talked about this in this video. I think by the second week of June, Cardano will be at all-time highs, but we need to find a low. And I saw a comment yesterday asking me how it's actually possible for Cardano to get to like all-time highs in a short time like this, because I mean, we only have like 1 month left, maybe like say 5 5 weeks or so. And how is that possible? Well, these people seem to forget that it's actually very possible, especially if we start breaking down on the Bitcoin dominance chart. These people seem to forget about Bitcoin dominance, and they seem to forget about what happened in November right here when Cardano went from 32 cents all the way up to like $1.30. Did you forget what happened here? I mean, Cardano went up about 300%, and this happened because during that time Bitcoin dominance actually dropped, and we had this drop right here. This was a 7% drop on the Bitcoin dominance chart, and during that time, like I said, Cardano went up like 300%. Now in this cycle, I'm expecting Bitcoin dominance to get to 66% and then drop all the way down to the trend line right here just to test it. And if that happens, a drop from 66% all the way down to the trend line would put us at about 42% or so, which means we have to get a 24% drop on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Of course, maybe it's not going to get exactly to 42%. Maybe we don't want to test the trend line right here. Maybe we want to drop like 50% or so. Even then, from 56 or actually 66% to 50%, that's a 16% drop. During this drop right here, where Bitcoin dominance dropped from about 62% all the way down to like 55% or so, it dropped 7% and Cardano went up 300%. Now imagine what happens when Bitcoin dominance starts doing something like this. It's obviously very possible for Cardano to go up even more than it did right here when Bitcoin dominance only dropped 7%. So I think we're actually in a very bullish scenario right now, and we're still waiting for Bitcoin dominance to top. And once it does, I think Cardano will finally wake up again, and it will finally do what it did in the previous cycle right here. And what do you know, we're actually in the exact same structure that we were in right here. We are in the exact same 1-to-1-2 setup, and well, the uptrend looks the exact same. And here we had this big move to the upside only when Bitcoin dominance started breaking down, and only after we had a cross on the bull market support band. Right now we are still waiting for one. As you can see, the red line is getting closer to the green line, which is good. This means we are about to have a cross in maybe a couple of weeks, and I think that at some point we will break above the trend line like we did over here. Of course, there's going to be some resistance here, but once we actually break above it, the way to all-time high is going to be extremely fast, and I think people are going to be, you know, let's just say scared by this because they're not going to be expecting it. I mean, the people who have been talking bad about Cardano for the last couple of years are probably going to be buying it when it's at all-time highs again, because that's what their favorite YouTuber will start saying. And well, that's obviously not good because that means they are FOMOing in, and FOMO means fear of missing out. So please not FOMO in, and please actually consider buying altcoins when they are in the support zone, just like they are right now. For example, I was making videos about Cardano back here when we were in the support zone, and of course nobody was watching them because, I mean, the Cardano was going down, but I did tell you that at some point we will go up, and we did go up after that. And right now I'm telling you the exact same thing. I think Cardano will get to all-time highs, but you just need some patience, and you just need to wait a couple of weeks. And well, that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon. If you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates, please do not forget that this is not financial advice. So anything I say is just for entertainment. And yeah, I will see you in the next one.